Bote Atulenzo Lampangi, Bote to everyone. Hello all. Felicien Fortio here from DITC, a DIA co-op working in collaboration with WADA, bringing Web3 technologies here in Cameroon. We operate in Douala more specifically. Today we will talk about our final closeout report, sharing with you our journey into implementing our funded project, Club+Hackathon equals Cardano adoption. So it started with a problem. The problem, uh, and we thought about a solution. And then during our journey, we have some feedback loop mechanism that taught us a lot of things. And then all of this brought us to think about the horizons. So let's start with the identified problem. So we realized that independent or one-time events were not going to help us establish a continuous relationship between us Cardano promoters and our targeted audience, which were um, schools, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. So we thought about a solution that could create a bridge, a long-lasting bridge between all those interested parties, really focusing on schools and thinking about like using clubs or creating clubs within schools, and also conducting events and also prize-driven hackathons with the end goal to spark deep interest in the Cardano ecosystem, but also to maintain that interest. So three paths. We establish a curriculum, then we work on creating and maintaining our network, or creating the network, and lastly, establishing collaboration frameworks that will help us maintain our networks. Let's move on to the curriculum. So Haskell Bluetooth DLT content was created for different like publics or targets, and we can group all that content in these three categories, which is distributed ledger technology, blockchain, focusing on the opportunities aspect of things, the Cardano ecosystem, how it works, why it's one of the best, and lastly, Haskell Bluetooth programming language geared toward developers. The next thing, which is focusing on our networks and our community, our strategy here consisted of starting in-house, creating different multiple channels, social media, where we could make sure that we are publishing content and growing our community. The next element under this category was really going to school and starting working on creating clubs. We have one that is already secured, and we are working with these institutes to make sure that we create clubs in each of them, so that we have the foundational blocks that we can use to collaborate. And this last point is just what we just talked about. Lastly, once we have had the content and then the clubs and the connection with schools, and then the next question that came in mind was, how do we keep them keep their interest, or entertain them? And for this, we organized and held three hackathons: January, June 2022, and November 2023. So as we present this now, it's happening. Then we included multiple conferences during our hackathon period. on varied subjects. Then we lastly, secure multiple collaboration with school, making them formal and in such a way that we, are officially recognized by authorities. So the next thing we did was to make sure that we were using an iterative process with our hackathons in such a way that we could learn from our past experience. And that did help us, uh, refine the template we were building. And along the way, we learned, several lessons. The first of them being that great things take time to build, especially here in Cameroon, starting green in this new field. Consistency, perseverance are definitely key in everything. And lastly, an iterative approach in specifically in this context where everything is new, with a feedback loop component are critical and essential. So during our first iteration, we came up with a template which basically consisted of advertising in school, elaborating content, both theoretical and practical, and encouraging individual and group work, having two type of challenges, individual and group, and then motivating participants through, mini prizes in ADA. And our motivation framework was based on three criteria: participation, individual work, and group work. So then the framework for running the events, we started with 3 days. First day theory, second day practice, and last day challenge, both individual and in group challenge. For the second iteration, we we deviated from the content I just presented you on the program, and then focus more on the administrative aspect, because what we learned from that first iteration was that we were lacking a lot of skills in how to organize, how to automate things in such a way that people could register and get a confirmation email. So we updated our tool kit for that, for the administrative and coordination aspect and communication as well, thing of aspect of the hackathon. For the last iteration, the one we are holding right now, we brought in little tweaks on the concept of participation. Back then, participating for us was just being there during the hackathon or during the live sessions. But what we learned is that a lot of people were not like contributing, actively contributing. So we decided to extend our hackathon to 2 to 3 weeks period, which is the case for our this last hackathon. And then we produce material, both written and video, long before the hackathon, and make it available to people who register, the participant, and also created like a social platforms space, both on Telegram and Discord, where they can ask the question as they learn, and and also made ourselves available for 2 to 3 live sessions answering questions before the actual last day of the hackathon. So that way we could really capture contribution. So participation becomes presence and contribution. So next, we incorporated a theatrical aspect, which allowed us to introduce sensitive subjects in a funny way, and a comical way. What happens here in Cameroon is that lots of people got scammed with cryptocurrency, get rich fast schemes, and they are really reluctant to the concept of blockchain because they associate blockchain with cryptocurrency. So one approach that we found was to start incorporating, comic aspect to our hackathon, so that kids can play scenes or adult can play scenes, to help fix the problem that these scams have brought about. Lastly, we introduce a conference for money, around the subject of money, making sure that people understand the mechanism of money, because we realize not that many people understand how money is produced. So, looking into the future, the horizon, we want to make sure that we consolidate our clubs and expand them. We grow our community, and then we continue educating on DLT's opportunities. So, consolidating our communities and clubs is really about making sure that we keep their interest live through more events and hackathons within schools. Growing and expanding our community is really about, again, engaging them with activities such as hackathons or events surrounding distributed ledger technology, uh, finding ways to expose developers community or the developers community to DLTs. I'm thinking about the Silicon Valley Mountain conference that is held every year in Boya. That's a pretty big one. We just came back from there, exposing all of this, and another one that is held every 2 years, I believe, in Yaoundé. It's called Promote, where you have hundreds and hundreds of companies, developers coming from all around Central and West Africa. So that's another opportunity to grow and expand our community and expose distributed ledger technology. So Matondo, that stands for thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, speaking on behalf of my colleagues here at DITC, Megan Amanda Hess, Kala Ehawe Didier, and Memus Nzubang Joseph. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post a lot of content of what we do. And coming soon, we are continued development of one of our projects, Tridano, which was funded in Fund 8. And it's about turning rare species trees into NF trees. So look out for that. Sign up for our newsletter, and our website is coming soon. Thank you.